How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to the Steele Carreras YouTube channel. My name is Timothy Steele, and I've got an interesting race for you today. This is the third and final race at Lime Rock Park, a part of the Trans Am Memorial Day Classic weekend that goes on every year here. If you didn't check out the last video, I highly suggest you do. It is a very action-packed race, but if you didn't, here is the track map of Lime Rock Park. As you can maybe see, not that many tight corners. A lot of them are very fast and flowy, and we reach the highest average speeds across the whole season here at Lime Rock Park, and it is also the track with the shortest lap times, so just under a minute, but also produces some really great racing. I apologize for the crack at the bottom of the screen. I'll try to get that fixed for next race, but as you can maybe see there, we're just warming up our tires, the typical back and forth motion. I'm starting in third on the inside, right behind Mateo, who's my teammate in front of me, and Cooper Shipman on the left side of the front row. Green flag is out. I'm going to stay to the inside here on the start. Some guys will try to make a move around the outside going into turn one, which doesn't really work, but especially on lap one, since the tires are pretty cold still. As you can see there, I almost lost it, and that's why Cooper is able to hold on to that second place position. But there's a lot of grip on the outside of turn two there, and I was thinking about making a move on the right side to try to get him going into that right-hander, but just didn't work out, and I didn't have enough momentum there. So not that big of a deal. There's about 25 laps in this race, so lots of time to think about how I'm going to get around these guys in front of me in a smart way, and mainly just Cooper because he's not my teammate, and the plan is for me to get behind Mateo and just kind of stick with him throughout the rest of the race and try to pull away from the rest of the pack. But Cooper is going to go to the left side here. I'm going to stick with Mateo just because if Cooper kind of gets left hanging out to dry on the left side, I'm able to stay on the inside and get the position away from him, which is exactly what just happened, and now I'm in second. Throughout this video, you'll see me cut away from the back half of the racetrack. This is just because nothing really happens there, and there's not any passing opportunities available in that part of the racetrack. And in this case, I'm following Mateo, so I'm not really going to pass him at all or even think about it if Cooper is right behind in third place, which right now he is. So Mateo is going to defend on the inside a little bit, and as you can see, Cooper is going to try to make a run around the outside, which he almost does. He has a lot of grip there, but as mentioned before, going into this left-hander, there is a lot of grip on the outside, and I'm able to hold him off for second place. Even though it's kind of a cloudy day and it's not really hot out as it was throughout this weekend, there's a lot of rubber laid out on that part of the corner throughout the whole weekend with all these different types of cars being on the racetrack. So it doesn't really matter. The tires are going to come up to temp pretty quickly, and using the outside of turn 3 is going to be really, really handy. Throughout the next few laps, nothing really happens. It's just me following behind Mateo, my teammate, and in attempts to stay with him and try to pull away from the rest of the pack, but that doesn't really happen, as you'll see throughout this video. I had a big moment there, but I close up to Mateo pretty quickly at the end of lap 5, and so him and I are back in business, but not for long, because Cooper Shipman, as you can kind of see in the left side rearview mirror, he has a huge run on the left side going into turn 1, and he almost gets Mateo there, but he would have gotten first place if he didn't make that mistake in the middle of turn 1. I think it was just going in too hot, but at least he gets that second place position in attempts to sort of split him and I up, and now I can only assume that he's just gonna try to go for the lead as quickly as possible. So not much I can really do here besides perfecting my lines and seeing where I'm gaining on them in certain corners to try to get the best run possible going onto the front straight, because that is the main passing zone and probably the most effective. But as you can see there, I didn't get down to the apex as well as the two guys in front of me, and that is going to be my Achilles heel throughout this race. I just had so much understeer going through the last corner that it kills my momentum going down the front straightaway. But thanks to the power of draft in these cars, the slipstream is just so strong that I can catch back up to them rather quickly. Not that big of a deal, especially since these guys are battling, and they will continue battling throughout the course of this race. Fast forward to the end of lap 7, still sticking behind Cooper, and as you can see, they're just bags and bags of understeer to the point where the whole left side of the car just goes completely off the racetrack. Now I'm going back and forth to try and clean up my tires. Very scary moment, and I'm very shocked I'm able to continue going on in a straight line without making a mistake going into turn 1 or possibly going off in the grass and ending my race. So, but little swap of positions there. Cooper is now in the lead, Mateo's in second. Hopefully I can try to draft up to them after the mistake I had, and it'll be a three-way fight again for the lead. Start of lap 9 now. Mateo's going to the outside. I'm going to follow with him to try to get a run as well around the outside, but that's just stuff that's a little too hard to ask for. So Mateo gets that first place away from him, and now I'm in third, and now I'm going to try my hardest to get around Cooper and stick with Mateo again to pull away from the rest of the field, but more specifically Cooper, since he has the pace to keep up with us and spoil the party. End of lap 9, beginning of lap 10. These guys are going to be trading positions a lot throughout this race. Cooper Shipman on the right side, Mateo on the left side. I wish I was a little bit further up to affect this battle, but I was too far back just because of the mistakes I had prior, and so nothing really happens here besides Mateo's now right in front of me. I can try to work with him. If he decides to make a move on Cooper, I'm gonna follow with him. So he's gonna go to the left side. I'm gonna stay with Cooper just for the minute, just to get as much draft as possible. Then I'm gonna move to the outside here. But luckily he's able to get that position. I was thinking about trying to travel around the outside and carry that momentum to sort of launch me around Cooper, but it just didn't work. And so unfortunate, but back to the drawing board here and just seeing what I can do to stick with Cooper as much as possible. Coming towards the end of lap 11, I don't think anything happens here for me on my end. It looks like these guys are just going to continue trading positions, but I'm just kind of letting both of them battle it out in front of me. I'm not trying to get involved too much as I think I want to be right now. I just want to stay behind and kind of save my tires. You know, the dream scenario for me is for them to sort of make a mistake and have to slow down or something, and I can just sort of swing by both of them and take the lead position away. But not necessarily taking each other out, but just enough for them to check up and allow me to find a hole in the gap and just take first position. But that doesn't usually happen in this kind of racing unless it gets down to about the last lap. So anyway, I'm just kind of staying behind both of these guys, seeing where I can gain on them on the track. And I was thinking about going to the left side of Mateo there because I had a really good run off of his car due to the slipstream. I was also thinking about hanging it around the left side with Cooper, but it's a little too much to ask for. There's not much grip out there still, and with my car, and so Cooper's able to stay in second. And I didn't want to just literally fall off the racetrack. I feel like that would happen if I tried doing that. Got a lot of understeer there. I'm going to stay to the inside with Mateo here, just holding this white line at the bottom of the racetrack. And as you can see, Cooper, look at this. He's got a ton of grip around the left side, and he's able to hold off and take that second place away from me. Just incredible driving, honestly. I just felt like for him, it's so hard to sort of hold on to that car without falling off the racetrack and into the grass. And yeah, I'm now in third, still behind Cooper here. He's kind of helping me stay with these this two-car battle just because of his draft and the slipstream down the straightaway. Mateo's looking up the inside, gets pretty dicey here, very, very tight. Cooper's trying to stay a little bit lower than where I think he was trying to be at the end of turn 1 there. I'm just trying to hit all my marks and stay with these guys as much as possible, because I feel like it's easy to lose this kind of battle or this pack if you mess up in the technical section. There's a lot of those, the back straightaway, or what is called the Paul Newman straight right now. If I mess up in the technical sections at the beginning of the racetrack, down that straightaway, these two could just kind of walk away from me, and definitely trying to make sure that doesn't happen. So anyway, Mateo's in first now. Cooper's still behind me. Looks like he was trying to think about going up the inside of Mateo going into the left-hander, but was just too far back. Obviously, I don't think anything could have happened for him to make that work. End of lap 19. I think at this point I'm looking behind and I'm seeing the guy in fourth, which is Jackson Tovo on the outside. He's coming up in my rearview mirrors. There he is right now. So all of this battling that happened in front with Cooper Shipman and Mateo caused me to kind of be a little bit held up, and or the three of us to be held up. And now I'm gonna have to try to fend off the Tovo kid in front of me, and then also one of the Tafance drivers behind me. So what was a 3-car pack in the front is now probably a 5 or 6 car pack for the lead, which is something you definitely don't want to happen. And you just kind of wonder, like, if Cooper and Mateo didn't battle, what that would be like for the rest of the field if they could possibly catch up to the front pack. But I guess we'll never know. It's something you think about as a driver in retrospect, definitely. With all of this battling in front, it's easy for these drivers to become fatigued or trying to deal with tire wear or whatnot. And as a driver in that second pack, you're definitely seeing the front pack closing in, and you're getting close to them, and that's just such a huge confidence booster. So you'll start hitting your marks more and definitely being faster, and it definitely gets the front guys a little bit worried. And look at this, a huge moment off the exit of the last corner going onto the front straightaway. Look at me viciously trying to clean off my tires. I cannot believe I was full throttle through all of that and didn't end my race, more importantly. But now there's a huge gap from where I am to the front three, and now I'm just going to try to use as much as Jackson Tovo's draft as possible. Looks like Mateo's going to defend on the inside there, because I'm sure he sees Jackson coming in hot. And now it's a three-way battle for the lead, but and luckily this kind of helps me out a little bit to close in more quickly and try to make it a 4-way battle for the lead, if you can believe that. So just staying with Jackson here, trying to hit all of my marks as possible, coming down to the last lap of the race. I'm going to go to the left side of Jackson just because I have such a huge run. Maybe I can try to late break him going into turn 1 and hang it around the outside. I'm going to give him as much room as I possibly can there on the right side, just giving him space if he wants to try to make a move up the inside, but he's not there. Now I'm in third. Looks like Cooper's going to try to go for a crossover move. Doesn't really work out, and he just gets super sideways and actually spins out. Let's take a look at that instant replay here. Looks like he touched the back of Mateo, and that was enough to jerk his car completely around. So unfortunate for him. He was doing so well. Looks like he was about to make a move for the win, and just one mistake ruined his race. Unfortunately, that's what racing does. And Jackson Tovo, who's in third, had to check up a lot more than I had to for that accident. And I'm able to actually cruise to the finish line to take second position, which is my highest finishing position ever in this series. So team is very happy, family's very happy. What more could you ask for? Definitely a better weekend than what I had last year. Last year I actually crashed the car, so I'm giving a big thumbs up to my dad and waving to the fans. Biggest fan turnout of all season. It's how it usually goes here at Lime Rock. so many fans, and I absolutely love it. If you really like this content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next one.